Don't look at the US dollar equivalent. Look at how many Satoshis you're stacking. Look at how many Bitcoins you're owning, because at the end of the day, that's what matters most. Look at it from the perspective of how much Bitcoin are you getting right now, how much are you allocating, and how big it is in your portfolio, not the US dollar equivalent, but the Bitcoin equivalent that you are owning. Hi everyone, so in this video, I want to talk about when is the best time to sell Bitcoin. What is a good price range to take profits on your positions? And that's so interesting now because we have seen Bitcoin move up even from last year from nearly 5,000 US dollars to as high as 64,000, that even though it's at 36,000, 37,000, 38,000, right now, it's just massively up in just 1 year. And if you've watched the videos that I've posted over the past weeks, I think Bitcoin will just go even up more and more and more and more, given that it's very, very, very scarce. There will only be 21 million Bitcoins. After that, there will be no more Bitcoins that will be mined ever. Please remember, I'm not OG and I respect the ones that have gone way before me, that had the conviction to come in way before this wave of literacy and information to help more people understand what the cryptocurrency market is. But it's harder to invest when not everyone is thinking that way. And that's why right now, they're the ones that are reaping the benefits of this massive move up that we are seeing in the cryptocurrency market. True enough, there will always be volatility, and it's the same wisdom, it's the same conviction that they had when Bitcoin was below 1,000, below 5,000, below 10,000, below 20,000, that's keeping them and pushing them to actually add more and buy more at this point in time. So I've also come to the conclusion, at least from the data that I have right now, that I think I know more about the technology already and how interesting it is, especially for us in Southeast Asia, especially for us that are not in developed markets where access to capital is there. It's easy to take a loan. It's easy for people to have bank accounts. It's easy for them, especially for people who their currency is the US dollar, the British pound, the Australian dollar, where they have a very, very stable currency. Unlike a lot of other countries, especially in developing nations, there's a bit of risk in terms of where their currency is. As of now, by the time of this recording, I don't think I plan to sell any of my Bitcoins yet. That being said, it's not just Bitcoin. So I've mentioned this in previous videos that 60% of my portfolio is basically Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB. Those three will be my core. I don't plan to sell them, but I just want to own as much as I can of them. Bitcoin is digital gold. Ethereum is money 2.0. BNB, in my opinion, is banking on Binance as a whole. And I like the interview that I had with Steve C, who's super deep in the e-commerce space. He said this, that he's also investing in BNB primarily because of the people behind it, the vision behind it. And he said something very, very interesting. Sample, there's only 0.1% of the world's population right now using Binance. If they just go to 0.3, then it already triples their transactions. It already triples the amount of people using the platform. And imagine how big it would be that way. What people are not underpinning is that the apps built on the Binance Smart Chain is way ahead up against other platforms that are also building smart contracts. The dApps that have been built around it are already things that people are using, which have user interfaces that are very, very interesting. So the prices of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB may massively go up. But even if they massively go up, I don't think I'll be selling. When we saw those cryptos push up as they started to drop down, it gave me even more clarity that I just wanted to buy more. I just wanted to stack more. I just wanted to own as much as possible. And I understand now why the OGs in the Bitcoin space would always say that don't look at the US dollar equivalent, look at how many Satoshis you're stacking, look at how many Bitcoins you're owning, because at the end of the day, that's what matters most. Look at it from the perspective of how much Bitcoin are you getting right now, how much are you allocating, and how big it is in your portfolio, not the US dollar equivalent, but the Bitcoin equivalent that you are owning. And even for Ethereum, I try as much as possible to stake it as much as I can for ETH 2.0 so that there's also no temptation for me to be able to use it or touch it. And the same way also for BNB, as much opportunities as I can to use it for other purposes, that it's not just sleeping there, I would do so as well. Imagine you had the chance to buy a piece of beachfront property in Boracay in the 1980s. Imagine that. And the context there is also, when you bought that beachfront property, you didn't need it. That was excess money. You had other sources, you had other investments, you had cash flow coming in. That no matter what happened to that property, it wouldn't make or break you. It wouldn't destroy you. It wouldn't change your lifestyle. You will still be able to eat every day. Now, fast forward 40 years to where Boracay is right now, and nothing much has changed for you. It still poses no threat to your lifestyle, and the value of properties in Boracay has massively gone up and it has become massively developed. But why would you sell? If you had the opportunity to buy it when everyone didn't like it yet, you would want to hold on to it as much as possible, because similar to Bitcoin, you won't be able to create more Boracay Islands anymore. Whatever you own there, the piece of property that you have there, that's it. I guess if there's a parallel between Bitcoin and real estate, it's that day. Real estate, whatever land that we have, that's it. You won't get more of that anymore. Similar with Bitcoin. If you own 5 Bitcoins out of the 21 million out there, guess what? The bigger the demand for Bitcoin will be over the next few years, the larger the value of that 5 million will be, because Bitcoin becomes so scarce because it's so limited. That's why I just kept on buying. And right now, no, as we're making this video, we're not out of this dip yet. We're not out of this crash yet. We're not out of this correction yet. But even if we drop further, I'm just gonna stack. I'm not saying that that's something that you should do, because this is something that works for me, and I've been saying this over and over and over. Please don't copy what I'm doing. Don't just buy, sell, hold, or avoid just because I talk about it here at YouTube. It's your money. It's your responsibility. Please take the time to learn, to know what you're supposed to do. When I entered the cryptocurrency market space, I wanted to hold on to it, but at some point I was thinking that if it goes up by this much, I'm gonna sell also and then enjoy it. But I guess it has come to a point where okay lang eh. If it goes down, it doesn't change my life. Of course, the monetary value will be very, very interesting, but I'll still be able to invest in other areas. I'll still be able to eat. I'll still be able to do other things. And I just want to ride this and to see where it will possibly go. And the lower it goes, I know I still have cash flow. That's why I will have the ability to still buy more. Siguro, it will be different if wala nang pumapasok sa akin as in zero. My mentality towards Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies will change. I may have to liquidate some, but as long as I know money's coming my way, as long as I know I'm diversified also in other investments, as long as I know that I have other assets that are working hard for me, then I have the ability to be able to just hold on and to stack as much as possible. And I want to get as much of it as I can right now. I have a second tier that I have been accumulating also over the past weeks, and that's PancakeSwap, and that's also VET. So I've made videos about them already, but I put them like a second tier because I really believe that Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB is something that I like more than them. But I also like them because of its utility. I really believe in decentralized exchanges. I really believe on what VET can also do in terms of how the supply chain is. What's so interesting about that was I mentioned about BSC, right? There was a point where the total value locked in PancakeSwap surpassed what Uniswap had in the Ethereum network. And it goes to show also that because gas fees in Ethereum are higher, there's a large shift of investors that want to earn via providing liquidity or just to pool their tokens and coins and get a return off of it. PancakeSwap, based on the BSC network, is grabbing market share, in my opinion, from Ethereum. But not just that, new ones entering that enter from the Binance platforms, I think will also prioritize more BSC related projects and the BSC network because their background already is from Binance. The more I used PancakeSwap, the more I used DEXs that are running the Binance Smart Chain, I realized how valuable BNB is because majority of the transactions that are happening in the BSC network are all using BNB. And imagine that if everyone's using BNB, how valuable will it be? And here's the thing, BNB burns their tokens, similar also to PancakeSwap, them burning their tokens, which makes the circulating supply smaller, which makes them more valuable. That's why I like PancakeSwap. That's why I also like VET. Primarily, if you look at all of them, BNB, Ethereum, VET, PancakeSwap, I like its utility. So it's in the second tier because there may come a point later on that I may want to take profits on them. As of now, also similar to what I did for the first three that I mentioned, I'm stacking them. If it goes lower, I'm gonna stack them. So especially for those of you guys who have been using PancakeSwap and who have been using their platform, what's interesting about that is you can hold and build the base but still get a return from PancakeSwap. Third tier after PancakeSwap and VET, I have been getting bits and pieces of Cardano, XRP, Matic, and also Chainlink. I have bought bits and pieces of it, relatively smaller than the first five that I've mentioned earlier. The reason why I'm getting them is primarily Cardano is my hedge up against Ethereum. If Ethereum does not deliver on its promise, at least I am positioning in Cardano. The difference between Cardano though and Ethereum is that Ethereum, the apps are already being used. Cardano, we still really have to see a large amount of people start to use them. We really have to see a larger amount of adaptation towards it. For XRP, I think everything hinges also on how the case would go. I'm still in a wait and see mode already, but when it started to drop below 1, it became so attractive already. Imagine, it hit almost $2 per XRP a couple of weeks back. It hit 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. That was something very, very attractive that the risk that I'm taking at 0.6, 0.7 may not be as big anymore, even if we have not really seen how the merits of the case will go yet. Then for Chainlink, it's my bet on oracles, and I think they're the biggest oracle out there. And I think now it has the ability to work with either Ethereum, Polkadot, and Cardano. So for those who attended our Stock Smart sessions a couple of weeks back, I mentioned that I should have looked at the technicals of it early on, because when it started to break out, it started to push up. And the reason why it's a smaller allocation right now is I felt that I wasn't able to get in at the price that I want, but I just wanted to have exposure to it already, because I think it will solve a lot of the problems in the congestion in the Ethereum network. The more NFTs become popular, the more and more people will be using Ethereum. Solutions like Matic will greatly help that. The ones that are not in my inner core, there will be points in time that I will sell them. And the name of the game for that is I'm going to swap it to USDT. It's not going back to fiat. It will go to USDT. Then portions of it will go to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB. And that has been my technique, that every time I trade, portions of the profit go to USDT, which will be my bala. But in the same way, every time I get something, I also buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB as well. That's one of the reasons why I'm not selling, is because I really believe that we are so early in the game that don't want to sell Boracay, knowing that it still has a lot of promise. And think about it this way. Even if you bought Boracay, sabihin natin you were not able to buy in 1980, but you bought Boracay 2010. From 2010 to 2020, there's still a lot of upside. And even when we get out of this pandemic, Boracay will reopen. Fundamentals in that island will reflect itself once again. And then if you held on to your position, even when it was at its low point, remember they were shut down, when things reopen, then you holding on to it also will reap your benefits as well. I'll just keep you updated on my journey also to crypto investing. By no means am I an expert on this. I'm really a stock market guy, but it's just nice to document also how I have been going through this. And this was something that I was not able to do when I started investing in the stock market. To put everything together, I'm stacking, I'm adding, and especially for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB, I plan to hold on to them and not actually sell them as well. If you want to invest in the cryptocurrency markets, one of the biggest exchanges that I use is Binance. They're the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. If you want to know more about them, links are in the description below on how you can actually buy cryptocurrencies. And the thing about that, no, for $10 you can start transacting also. That's 500 pesos. It's an amount that's not very, very intimidating. So I encourage you, if you're skeptical about this, just try it. 500 pesos, $10, it gives you exposure to actually see what it is. And if you want to know more on how you can trade cryptocurrencies using technical analysis, we have a course coming this July. It's called Stock Smarts. It will be a Zoom course, which is happening for 2 weekends, Saturday and Sunday. It will all be half-day sessions where we're going to do the nitty-gritty on technical analysis, candlesticks, trend lines, support and resistance, indicators, Bollinger Bands, and so much more. So if you want to know more about that, links are in the description below. I've written 5 books about the stock market, and if you're interested also in investing in the stock market, check out the books that I have below. They're available in all national bookstore outlets in the Philippines, but they're also available via shop. So that's it for now. There will always be volatility when you enter the cryptocurrency markets, but what's very, very important is that you know what you're getting into. What's very, very important is you have a full conviction on what you're buying, because at the end of the day, in the midst of the bearishness, When you know what you're getting into, then you won't be scared. When you know what you're getting into, even if everyone else is telling you to sell, but you believe in it so much, not just by hope, but because you took the time to study it, you would do things and accumulate, which other people perceive as risky, but because you did your own due diligence to you, it's a well-managed risk. So that's it for now, Marvin Germo. I really do hope that this channel over and over helps you to become financially free, because I really genuinely want to see more Filipinos do better, regardless if it's just purely investing in the Philippine stock market or investing in the US stock market or the cryptocurrency market, because our greatest days are ahead, that we can also grow wealth even in the midst of this recession, in the midst of this pandemic. So that's it for now, Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.